Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to Book Talk with Author Series 2025. The information shared in this live broadcast is solely for the purpose of knowledge cultivation. It represents the personal opinions and comment from the speaker or the panel. Does not reflect the official stance of the university. The university shall not be held any responsible for any comments or opinions expressed or conveyed by the panel. Therefore, the Book Talk with Author series is broadcast live from the Pita Studio, UiTM Shah Alam. For your information, this is a knowledge cultivation program aimed at sharing insight and information among experts and professionals in their respective field. The Book Talk with Author series also serve a platform support UiTM Press in promoting the latest publication or bestseller, while also contributing to the vibrancy of the national academic publishing industry. Today's episode is very special because of in the conjunctions of our Festival of Ideas at Selangor that now is happening in Dewan Tuanku Chancellor UiTM Shah Alam. Assalamualaikum again, and a very good morning to all of is the author of the book Environmental Education and Ethics. Our Honorable Professor Dato Dr. Bakar Abdul Majeed. Welcome, Professor. A warm welcome and thanks also to Professor for gracious accepting the invitations of UiTM Press and also Perpustakaan Tun Abdul Razak to be part of the 7 editions of the Book Talk with Author programs.
Thank you.
Okay. To viewers or streaming online out there, you are welcome to ask any questions. You can also drop your questions in the comment sections throughout this program. And also for those who are present this morning, you may ask directly the questions to the panel after the Q&A sessions is opened. All right, let us continue by getting to know more about our guest today, Professor Dato. Please kindly share a brief background about you, Professor, to all the viewers out there.
Thank you, Rohayu.
Yeah.
I'm Professor Bakar Abdul Majeed. Currently, I'm Dean of Faculty of Pharmacy, UiTM. I am a registered pharmacist, and I have a PhD in neurophysiology. Also did my MBA, post-PhD at USM. I have been interested, of course, in studies relating to medicines, and also especially for the elderlies, like Alzheimer's disease, for example. But I'm also into ethics, bioethics especially. When I was a senior fellow at Institute of Islamic Understanding, Malaysia, I came for several years in the 1990s. I got involved in issues relating to environmental ethics, or eco-ethics, we call it. So when I joined UiTM in 2001, I definitely kept doing research in pharmacy and medications, but I've also been involved in issues pertaining to ethics. For example, I chaired the National Bioethics Council under MOSTI from 2016 to 2018. And I was also involved in several given talks on ethics, and also, I'm also teaching medical ethics to our master's student at the medical faculty and pharmacy faculty.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Prof, for the introductions. So without any further ado, I would like to proceed to the first questions. What inspired Prof to write the environmental education and ethics? Was there any personal experience that or moment that made Professor very passionate and interested about the environment?
Yeah, to be sure, we began the discussion to write this book actually before COVID era. If you notice in the book, there is no mention of COVID. This happened between 2015 to about 2019. We discussed the need to have this book because at that time the issue of climate change also came out very strongly in news, and we realized that realization of environmental care should be made known to, especially to the people of this country, hopefully also to others. And luckily at that time I had collaborators from India, Dr. Sushri, who was one of my mentees at the faculty, and also the co-author from India. So we together thought it can also be a multinational effort. And we think that definitely education is the way forward. Because if we want to change anything, because we know that environmental issues are very much of concern of everyone, but effort to take action is somewhat limited to just certain groups of people or certain countries in the world. I have also visited actually many countries. As researchers and lecturers, we would have the opportunity to present our findings, research findings overseas. And from my visits, I noticed that some countries, for example, I would say this country, New Zealand, for example, you to impart on the young generation, on our students, university schools, the importance of understanding the issues pertaining to the environment, which I think now we cannot afford to ignore in order for us to be able to create this sustainability of the environment and of the community.
Okay, I agree with Professor. When it comes to anything that we want to do, of course, we need to create awareness. It's very important. All right, so moving on to the next question, Professor. How does your backgrounds influence the way you look at environmental issues? Let's say if you had to sum up your book in one sentence, what will it be?
Well, this book is about creating awareness, understanding, and imparting knowledge on every reader so that they will begin to feel the need to take action and begin to feel the need that they have a responsibility and a role in trying to provide a better environment for especially generations of the future.
Okay, all right. So, Professor, okay, among the all chapters that we have in that book, there must be any significant challenge for you and your co-authors that face during the writing of this book lah. All right. So, how did the process of producing this manuscript begin? So, is there any experience challenges that you want to share with all of us?
Yeah, I think the chapters, if we go through the books, there is one chapter on health-related matters that are of concern because of environmental degradation, for example, especially respiratory-related diseases. So because my background is in health, so we easily started that chapter first. And then my colleagues, they are chemists and biologists, so they were familiar with the initial chapters, the earlier chapters. But the one that we face a bit of a problem is, of course, chapter on the law of environment, because we are not technically, we do not have that strong background or even enough background perhaps in legal matters. But we try, and then we thought about, because two authors are from India, I'm from Malaysia, so should we focus on laws in India, or should we focus on laws in Malaysia, Malaysian law or Indian laws? So we decided to try to balance and also try to have a bit of comparative or comparison between the two laws. But in any case, I think all chapters were quite difficult handful, mostly because data was simply too huge. Which one do you select? Which one do you want to highlight to create that, not say, but not alarm, but to create that, the importance of the matter. So trying to skim through data and trying to select which data would be most important. And also we realized, because in terms of environmental issues, huge data are generated every day. For example, weather data. Every day we have new weather data. So how do we, draw the line? Which one should we use? And if we are late, then data becomes quite outdated. So those are the challenges, right?
Okay. All right. So as mentioned by Professor just now, despite all the challenges that you mentioned about the law and everything, but here we are. The book is here. All right. Alhamdulillah. All right. So can you tell us how the book is organized, or what readers can expect from the inside?
Basically, the book is generally we have to introduce what environment is all about as an introduction chapter. What makes the environment, what consists environment is made up of which. We have the second chapter on resources, natural resources, to highlight the importance of forests, rivers, water resources, so that readers can become clear on the reason why our environment needs to be protected, needs to be saved. And then we look into pollution, of course. Pollution is a major issue. Even today, we are still looking at the number getting bigger and bigger, very difficult to sustain and also to contain. So we talk about environment from all aspects, air pollution, pollution from all aspects, air pollution, water pollution, metals, river, every single environment ecosystem, part of the ecosystem seems to be threatened by pollution. And this is not new. In fact, I think the earliest realization of the importance of environmental care started with the worry or the threat from pesticides in the 60s especially. And that started the first move towards trying to begin to educate people, the importance of trying to limit the use of pesticides in agriculture, for example. A lady by the name of Carson actually wrote a book, and from there, the book is entitled Silent Spring. Silent Spring, meaning spring is supposed to be very good and very lively, but with pollution, even spring is beginning to be a problematic time in our seasons. So I think then we look into the management of pollution, and then followed by the laws, and we close the book by a chapter on healthcare and environment.
Okay, all right. So all the viewers out there, we take a break for a moment. So we will be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, very inspiring.
Very inspiring juga lah
Mm.
kan. It's
Good.
Okay, thank you again to viewers out there for staying with us. All right, so we are going to proceed our questions to our professor. Okay, Professor, can you share with the audience out there this book also written by two other authors? All right, Professor Upendra Najdas and also Dr. Shushri Tripathi. My question is, was that the process like in collecting and editing the manuscript of this book? How can you tell us working with these two authors?
Thank you, Rohayu. I think my two primary authors would be Dr. Sushri and Professor Upendra Nathdash is the supporting. And she is a very experienced author in India. He has published, I think, more than 20 books. And I see that the culture in India, in terms of writing academic books, the culture seems to be very healthy. I find that they are easy to write manuscripts, and I think they completed the manuscript quite early, and my part, especially on the health and also ethics, and also on the editing of the book, I would say was quite relatively easy because I have two very strong co-authors. So we worked together in that sense, and we had timelines, of course, and finally we managed to complete the manuscript. Although, like I said, we really had to pick and choose data that we could use because we don't want to make the book too lengthy, of course. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Based on the book, why do you think environmental education is so important today? All right. Okay. How can educators do a better job for helping their students to care about the environment?
Thank you. That's a very important question, I think, because now we believe that, as in many other aspects, education has to be made available and also have to be made in a simple way to understand. This book, I think, is very, I would say, written in a simple way, with very simple language to be understood by both students of schools, secondary schools, university students, for example, from faculty of environment, faculty of environmental health, Department of Environmental Health, Faculty of Education, and even for social science, and even for hard science. Students would be able to understand the flow and the content of the book. Also, I would urge the public also to pick up this book. Now it's online, to look at the content, because it was also meant for easy reading by the public. When you read the book, then you will have an understanding of the issues pertaining to environment I think, in a nutshell, basically. And for educators who wish to enhance that level of effectiveness in terms of education with a book, and then with effort by educators, I think the only way to educate the young people with regard to the environment is to take them out into the environment. I mean, there's no way you can teach them just in the classroom.
Yes.
I just have to tell this story because I became very interested, for example, in ecology. When I was doing Form 5 in school, I had a teacher from England. At that time, we had teachers, from overseas teaching schools. So for biology to teach us on the importance of protecting the environment, especially the coastal, especially coastal
yeah.
plants, coastal plants. He took us to Port Dickson, and he showed us how the plants in the coastal area, how the plants survive, and what was the importance of these plants being there. And we begin to understand how they manage to breathe, even, living in a salty environment, and why they should be there and not to be taken out and put up with some, land reclamation projects or building apartments. Now we understand the importance of this mangrove, for example, in terms of, mitigating the strike by tsunami, for example.
Tsunami, yes.
And then the importance of them being part of the ecosystem of the coastal area. So because we were taken out of the classroom and being taught, we understood quite easily all these issues relating to ecology at that time. So I would urge teachers as much as you can. I know this takes time, effort, money probably, but you have to take the students out. If not during weekdays, maybe weekends. For example, we have Taman Negara,
Yes.
which is technically, a pristine forest, millions of years. And if you go into Taman Negara, you would understand what a forest, a jungle should look like. The smell of it already will tell you this is the real jungle, the real origin of this earth. So I would urge teachers to just go out, see the environment, and start the discussion, the debate, and make the students aware of what environmental issues are, real issues, and hopefully they can come up with projects that they can begin to build, that interest, that concern, and responsibility as they move into adult. So I would urge, make our environment as the lab for the students.
Okay, so that's why you need to have this book. All right, so please, if for those who are educators, students who are very interested to get this book, don't forget to get this book lah. All right, so okay, when we talk about environmental ethics, could you simplify the terms that do you think that people still have the moral duty to protect the nature? If so, why?
Definitely, in everything that we do, we have to do it in a what we say is courteous way. Adab, yeah? Al-adab. There must be the right way to do it and the accepted way to do it. So for environment, the term eco-ethics have been used since the early 1960s, yeah? Because there began concern related to use of pesticides, for example, in the environment, although good for the agriculture, but slowly over usage of pesticides began to create pollution, water pollution, air pollution, and so on. And there have been cases of individuals suffering from being exposed to the pollutants. And the idea of taking care of the environment was thought to be better put into the perspective of ethics. Ethics, as you know, is a part of philosophy. Previously, ethics has always been seen as something which is theoretical, difficult to be understood. But I think in the late or middle of 20th century, people started to bring out ethics from textbook, from Aristotelian time, and try to put ethics into practice. So at that time, we had what we call applied ethics. So we try to use principles of ethics and try to embed that into, making people deal with the environment in an ethical manner, meaning that they still subscribe to some of the theories or principles of ethics. For example, there should not be any damage, like human, we say that when we treat patient, we should not do any harm to the patient. So similar to environment, we say do not do harm to the environment. So ethical principles, there are many. For example, we're trying to inculcate as much as we can a theory under the theory of universalism ethics, meaning everybody should agree that the environment is under threat and actions have to be taken for us to start protecting, although we may be a bit too late, but it's always necessary to start anyway.
All right. So thank you for the explanation. All right. So we hope that the readers will understand and feel about how you and the other authors talk about environment in this book. All right. How do you see environmental education changing in the next few years?
That's what I mentioned earlier, because right now we think awareness, understanding, there is a bit of that among the people.
Yes.
But there's always something called the know, do, get. You know, but there's a gap before you do something. You know about it. You know that environment is under threat. Environment is being, being polluted. You know, through media, through news, through your discussion, but you do not do anything. So now I think this book will hopefully try to bridge the gap, the know, do gap. So as we can, bring this gap closer, hopefully people will start taking action. Because the only way for us to resolve this issue of environmental degradation is for everybody to play a part. There's no one should be left out. Today, we begin to talk about carbon footprints, for example. We talk about zero carbon. We know that we as individuals also will have to start tracing back our own carbon emission. How much carbon do we produce? And this is not about just breathing in and breathing out, but also when you travel in your car, you go overseas to attend conferences, you take the flight, and every flight gives out loads of, carbon into the environment. So if we can start calculating how many carbon that we release per capita, how much we release per capita, everybody, then we all have to slowly try to bring that number down. And by working in concert, everyone, I think that's the only way to move forward to solve the environmental problem today, so-called environmental crisis.
All right. Okay, thank you, Professor. Okay, are you planning another book or project connected to environmental, or some things that related to your field after this?
Yeah, we have something. Of course, I work on Alzheimer's disease, so we're trying to write something on how to manage this disease from a medical point of view and also from lifestyle change. I also have some articles that are written on ethics. I'm trying to look at possibility of compiling some of these articles, but not solely on environment. Ethics on medical practice, ethics on technology, for example, robo ethics, use of AI and so on. So I try to compile into another book of ethics.
Oh, okay. Okay, one last question to Professor. Okay, one message that you want hope to send to everybody throughout this book?
Yeah, one is that you have to realize the importance. Although we heard about maybe groups saying that this is a hoax, this is not true. Scientists, there are also scientists on that side saying that climate change is nothing. The Earth can take its own course. It can take its own care of its own health, for example. But I'm quite happy now. I think the movement towards caring for the environment is much bigger. We see the document of 13 Nation Plan. We have a chapter or a note on planetary health, and the coming strategic plan for higher education. I think we've seen some of the early indicators, and they are going to focus also on planetary health. So I think we have hope. And for the rest of us, please do not ever give up. There are things that you can do. People say just plant a tree. Okay, that's fine. That's something that you can do. Yes. So there are many things that you can do, but please read this book and see that you understand the basic, the concept, and how you're going to deal with the environmental issues. So look out. This book, I think, is written in a very simple manner for everyone to understand. And of course, there are things that we should have included, but I think what we have done, we try to put them as succinct as possible for people to read and to understand. And hopefully, take action. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Before we end the sessions, maybe we have some questions from the viewers out there. We have questions. Oh, we have question from the audience in the studio. Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning.
Waalaikumsalam.
Dear Prof, Dato, can you share to us examples of over-exploitations of the resources that leads to depletion of the natural resources? Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for the question. Yeah.
Yes.
I think there are many examples of exploitations, too many to say. But one thing that we should know, very basic, I think we look at our country, we look at how garbage being disposed. I think there is already a problem there because disposal has not been as much as we had hoped to be in the best possible way. For example, very simple, in terms of recycling of waste materials, we still are struggling with regard to trying to differentiate between recyclable and non-recyclable products. We're still struggling with garbage bins for papers, for bottles, for plastic.
Yes.
So I think this is something which is very near to us, but outside, the problems of microplastic seems to be quite huge now. You see in the ocean, the amount of microplastics available is simply tremendous, and this is causing, is threatening the marine life for sure. People have been, getting whales, for example, dolphins with plastic in their respiratory system. So I think microplastic is going to be the major issues also coming up in the future. Something that we have to start to deal with. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there any other questions? Questions from... Do you have any questions? All right. We have one question from our YouTube channel. Okay. Mohamad Rizwan Abdul Rahman. I'm Rizwan from Shah Alam. How are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals aligned to environment care?
Okay, thank you, Cik Rizwan.
Thank you.
Yeah, Cik Rizwan aware of the Sustainable Development Goals. Yeah, there are 17 goals has put up by United Nations. I think many of our documents in this country, we try to relate to the SDG, in short, SDG. We know that our research grants, there's always a need for us to relate to SDG. So 17 SDG, I noticed that there are at least 8 or 9 which are directly related to environmental care. For example, the quality of air, the quality of water, and then marine life. So if you look at the SDG of United Nations, the 17, you'll find that many directly are related to environmental protection and care. And of course, the rest are somewhat related, indirectly related. So, meaning that but this SDG will be completed in the near future, not too far distant future. So, hopefully, we can all start to begin to respond to the needs of the SDG. And if we take good care of our environment, we're going to at least settle about 7 or 8 SDG or Sustainable Development Goals in one shot.
All right. So I hope we answer your questions. All right. So we have one more. Okay, we have one more questions from the viewers. All right, from Filza Wahidun. All right, in Malaysian context, which agency that participate in environmental education and awareness? How do you see the effectiveness of these agencies? Thank you.
I think under MOSTI there is a Department of Environment, DOE. So DOE is the one responsible for maintaining, monitoring, educating even. We had a project with DOE some years back on producing books. And we titled the book in Malay as Alam Sekitar Anugerah Tuhan, or in English, also English version, the environment, a gift of God. So we try to relate religious perspective. Of course, we know that looking after environment is very much related to our faith, basically. We look at all religions in the country or in the world. There was a meeting organized by Harvard University in the 1990s. I attended that meeting, and Harvard University has produced books on ecology from perspective of all major religions in the world. There is ecology from Islamic perspective, ecology from Christianity, from Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, and so on. So meaning that our understanding is that with faith, hopefully, we can make people more concerned about the environment and take, because we know about the term vicegerents or Khalifah. Yeah? We humans are supposed to be the protector, the manager of the environment, as in the Quran. So I think this is the way, another way for us to move forward by making faith as the foundation for us to protect the environment. So I think the issue with regard to agencies in charge, I think they have been quite effective. But I think what should be done more, I know probably this is happening, but I think in terms of, because these agencies, they do have some legal powers. So I think there has to be also an enhancement of the element of enforcement. So I know bodies or agencies are normally lack of personnel to do this, but since they have the law that gives them the power to take action, so I think you need that. Education is one thing, but enforcement is also a complement to education in order for us to create this better environment. Yeah.
Okay. One more. We have one more. Oh, we have more questions today, Professor. All right. So, okay, one more from Linda Hamid. Okay, Dato, what advice would you give us academician who wants to raise environmentally conscious in students?
I mentioned earlier, because today our hope is with the current generation and the coming generation. If we do not take action, then the possibility of environment getting worse is always there. And you can imagine the environment simply put as a balloon, the skin of the balloon. Okay, so if you blow air into the balloon will enlarge. Okay, and you keep on blowing air. So the environment is just that, that
very thin,
that rubber, which is the balloon. If you keep on blowing air into this balloon, can it stand? Because we've been, the Earth has been around for millions of years, and every century, every 1,000 of years, lots of things happening that are affecting the environment until today. So how long can this balloon stand? The air that being breathed into it, one day it's gonna just rupture. So that is the important thing that teachers, educators can put forward to their students. And like I mentioned earlier, try to make the students go out to the environment to learn about the environment. And with that, do not do that in the classroom, please. Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you, Professor. All right, our program has come to its end. On behalf of Penerbit UiTM and also Perpustakaan Abdul Razak UiTM, insyaAllah, we would like to wish Professor Dato continue success in producing more high quality scholarly works and meets the needs of the society at large. All right, for viewers who interested in getting these ebooks, this is ebooks actually. All right, you can purchase these at Minds apps for only 41 ringgit Malaysia. All right, on behalf of Penerbit UiTM, I would like to express also our gratitude to PITA itself for giving us the opportunity through this program to promote UiTM Press publication works. All right, thank you so much. We look forward to more collaborations in the future. I hope to see all of you again. As your moderator, I sincerely apologize for any words or actions that may have been inappropriate or mistaken. All right. To our audience in the studio, those watching online, please scan the display QR code for the attendance, especially for warga UiTM. All right. To receive your e-certificates. All right. Before we end this program also, I have a very important announcement to make. All of you are welcome to join our next telaah at 12:15 p.m. at YouTube UiTM channel. So don't forget, it's always the poster is available at your screen right now. Alright, bicara buku bersama penulis buku, which is our Wacana. Wacana is referring to the panels. Kemudi is referring to the moderator. Alright, Dr. Mohamad Shafiq Burhanuddin, Fellow Institute Kefahaman Islam Malaysia, IKIM. Alright, do check out at 12:15 p.m. All right. So I think that's all for today. Thank you for all the viewers. Thank you to our panel, Professor Dato Majeed, and also do check out. Don't forget our QR code, and also we will see you again for the next episode. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.